A rumor was going around on social media that Robin would be appearing in the Batman Part 2. I had a reaction to it, as did multiple pop culture social media people, but unfortunately, that rumor was debunked by James Gunn himself.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake Media vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you want to support me in the work that I do, head on over to my new website. The link is in the description of the video where you can subscribe at different tiers that unlock different perks. It really helps me out. Thank you in advance. So, Robin was alleged to be in the script for the Batman Part 2. This rumor was circulating online pretty heavily. I saw all over the place several people, including Jester Bell, who I frequently do live streams with. She even was reacting to it. I had my own reaction where I said, as long as it's Dick Grayson or Tim Drake and not some new character or some swapped version of them that's been Tim Drake since the rebirth, but I digress on that. James Gunn took to social media and immediately debunked that rumor, calling it nonsense. So it appears that Robin will not be in the Batman Part 2. A lot of media outlets were reporting on this, so I just decided to ask Google Gemini to give me a summation of the news. Calm down, it's just for fun. So the AI overview, when I asked, will Robin be in the Batman Part 2? It replied, no, Robin will not be in the Batman Part 2, as DC Studios head James Gunn has debunked rumors about the character's appearance in the film, calling such reports nonsense. These rumors followed reports of a script that supposedly included Robin, but Gunn has confirmed that very few people have read the actual script and all outside information is inaccurate. Rumor versus reality. There was a rumor Robin that would be introduced in the Batman Part 2, but this has been officially denied. James Gunn's confirmation. Gunn, who is head of DC Studios, stated on social media that the rumors about Robin are nonsense and that information from outside sources about the script is incorrect. Gunn explained that a very small team has read the script, making any circulating information about its contents unreliable. And I would just like to specify the Batman Part 2, as confirmed by James Gunn and Matt Reeves on at least one occasion, is not part of the DC universe. So it's not connected to Superman or the upcoming sequels. It's not connected to Creature Commandos or Peacemaker Season 2. Apparently, Peacemaker Season 1 is in the old DCEU, but Season 2 is going to be in James Gunn's DC universe. The Batman series, starring Robert Pattinson and directed by Matt Reeves, is its own universe called the Batman Crime Saga. It is considered part of the Elseworlds line of DC Universe films. That might be a little confusing, but don't forget that the Batman was greenlit before James Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC Studios. So at the time, it was a man named Walter Hamada, and he decided against doing a shared universe. He said it's all spaghetti now, so it would be different films. There was also going to be a Superman movie from J.J. Abrams, which I did a video on. That one has recently been canceled. Right now, the Batman is kind of like the last lingering part of those films that were approved before James Gunn and Peter Safran decided to do an entirely new shared universe that was based in Creature Commandos as well as Superman. Would Robin have made the movie better if he was in the Batman Part 2? Not necessarily. Robin is clearly a distinct part of the Batman mythology. I don't know, though, if being in the Battinson movies is a good idea. It seems to be a more grounded take, even more realistic than, say, the Dark Knight trilogy that Christopher Nolan directed. But that's just my opinion. If they were to do the Batman, if they were to introduce Robin into the Batman Crime Saga universe, that includes the Batman Part 2, as well as Penguin. Oh, and by the way, I want to clarify something. Recently, I said Clayface was going to be part of the same universe as the Batman. That was incorrect. Clayface is part of the DCU, the James Gunn DCU, not the Matt Reeves Battinson series. So I apologize for that. But anyway, I'm not sure how Robin would connect with that show. So we've got the Batman Part 2, Penguin, And there was going to be a GCPD show that Jeffrey Wright was going to play Gordon in. I don't know if that's still on the table. I've heard conflicting reports about that. Now, where would Robin fit in with this? The only way I could see Robin really fitting in with the Batman is if they did some sort of adaptation of Dark Victory, which is the retelling of how Batman met Dick Grayson. Now, they would have to use Dick Grayson and not any of the others. I would, like I said in my tweet, maybe Tim Drake, but really the Batman needs to be Dick Grayson. It needs to be not some, race swapped or changed orientation version. They need to have the original Dick Grayson, because apparently in James Gunn universe, Batman is going to be a little bit older, so he's already cycled through Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake, and so they're going to use Damian. I think that's a stupid idea. Damian is one of the most unpopular Robins, maybe even more unpopular than Stephanie Brown and Carrie Kelly. I think that what James Gunn should do is make it where Batman is at the point where Tim Drake is Robin in this universe, and not the DC Rebirth one where they made him a gay icon. That version is stupid. They should go back to New 52 or 1 year later Tim Drake and use that. And don't make it where he and Bruce have some sort of tension between them. I'm so tired of that trope. Let's move on from it. I'm tired of Batman being in conflict with his former sidekicks or current sidekicks. Let's make it where he's a good mentor. There's nothing wrong with that story. At least with Tim Drake, maybe he has a falling out with Dick Grayson. Jason Todd is dead, and Tim Drake is what he was originally before they changed him in the New 52. Because in the 1 year later universe, which is the original 52, Tim Drake was so involved in Batman, he even changed his costume to look more like the Batman costume and less like a Robin costume. And he even allowed Bruce Wayne to adopt him, and he became Tim Wayne. That has since been completely washed away, and I think that that's sad. If James Gunn was smart, he would use that and not Damian. But anyway, all that to say, Robin is not going to be in the Batman Part 2. That has been confirmed, so we'll just have to wait and see when we have a villain announcement. Personally, I would like to see them do Hush or Professor Pig, more of an unknown villain that can appear in the Batman universe, but that is just my opinion about it. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment to what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you want to support me in the work that I do, head on over to my new website, studiojakemedia.substack.com. The link is in the description of the video. I have even more pop culture articles. You can subscribe at different tiers that unlock different perks, including being able to pick the topic for the website as well as here on the vidcast. So some pretty cool stuff. Thank you in advance. At that same website, there's a conveniently titled Buy My Books section. You can pick up one or all four of my books. I've got links all over the place, but they're all available on Amazon.com. Check them out. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.
Cause I've been living life right like I